are unleashed on his first lap at the moment. Looking fast, but not completely tidy in terms of his line there. Missed the apex ever so slightly on the second fast right. Again, a little bit on the second apex there. Obviously hard for me to kind of tell how fast they're really going when you're watching from this camera. It did look like he went a little bit deep there. And that's not the optimal exit you wanted out of that corner. Again, missing the apex slightly. That kind of blind right apex there, I know from experience that it's a very difficult corner to get turned into properly. I really struggle there myself when I drive this track, getting the right line. We're going to follow TRS Unleashed until the end of this first lap. TRS open, of course. 2 DRS straights here, this before the final corner, and then of course the main straight. Oh, and TSR Unleashed is not happy with his first attempt, and he streams straight back into the pit lane, aborting that lap. So let's see. Tyrrell Maguire then, about to finish potentially his first lap of the season. Unless he also goes into the pits. I guess we'll see in a second. He wants probably an invite back, which I should probably provide, as Tyrrell Maguire also aborted his lap. So I guess there's some messy laps. Here to start the session. I'm just going to invite E back in. But even though he is now missing qualifying, he can at least start a race, hopefully. So then, Tyrrell Martin has set a lap time of 1:32.4 to set the pace here. A provisional pole. After winning the first race of the season, Tyrrell Martin really looking strong here in the early part, and he's definitely not going at full pace here, so this is probably an in-lap. Brochek up to P2 then as well, 1/10 of a second behind Martin, so the two that finished in the top 2 positions in the first race are looking good again. Limitless, of course, as well. You can never discount him. He is 2/10 of Brochek, 3/10 of Martin after a first lap. Not sure if he's on a flying lap either here, or whether it's actually an in-lap, but I guess we'll see in a second. Those 3 now then making up the top 3 positions so far, with 1/3 of the qualifying session gone. So guys, once again a bit hard for me to kind of catch up with or yeah, see what's going on in the chat when there's stuff to do with my controller, but yeah, let me know if the quality is fine or if the sound levels are fine for you guys. I did reduce the bitrate a little bit actually for this, because I had feedback from last week that some people were seeing a lot of stuttering and stuff, so I've reduced the bitrate a little bit to hopefully make it a bit better for some people. Obviously that could affect the quality a bit, so hopefully it's not too bad. Alright, I see there seems to be some kind of discussion going on whether Martin and Limitless is the faster on this game. I guess we'll see. Obviously Limitless was leading the race last week until he had his incident, and then Martin picked up the scraps to take the win. So Martin kind of with the upper hand so far this season, and on provisional pole here, I think. I'm going to quickly go back to the scoreboard actually, just to double check that nothing has changed, and it has not indeed. So half of the grid pretty much has set a lap time, half the grid presumably aborted their first attempt because they weren't pleased with their efforts. And Martin now on his out lap to set up another lap. So is Brochek, so is Limitless, so is Lest F1, who is picking up some cheeky slipstream from Limitless by the looks of it. Unleashed as well. Oh, he is on actually a proper lap. Let's see then if Unleashed will actually be finishing this lap after aborting his first attempt. Going very wide to enter the penultimate corner, but at least that means he should be getting a good exit and run onto this straight. Obviously crucial to get a good exit out of that penultimate corner, and of course also this final corner. Because those two corners are leading onto the two biggest straights on this circuit. Opening DRS once again, charging towards the line. What will his time be? A 32.4 to go P2, and that must be very close to Martin's time. I seem to remember his time also being a 32.4, but clearly a lower 32.4 as Unleashed is not able to go provisional pole, but a very impressive lap nonetheless to go P2 at the moment, ahead of Brochek and Limitless then. Let's see who else is on a flyer. Brochek just started his, and Limitless also just started his, so let's see if someone's later on. Oh, Orbit Pride going very slowly there. Hariant as well, just on an outlap. I wish there was a way to switch between the cars without having to go through every single one. You could just have like a menu where you could select the one you want to see, but Codeys don't want to make it easy for us, as you know. So we're going to follow the final sector of Tyrrell Martin's lap. The man currently on provisional pole, and the question is, of course, will he now improve on the lap time he's got? Looks to be a little bit too wide on the exit of that corner, actually. A little bit too much on the curve for my liking. No track extension though. So let's see if this has been a good enough lap to make it even harder for the rest of the field to take pole in this race. Coming towards 32, and it is! Ooh, it's a 32 flat! That is a fantastic lap, and he's immediately retired from the session. So Tyrrell Martin clearly extremely pleased with his efforts there. Unleashed in the pits. Brochek, he does improve, but just by a tenth of a second, so he's gone above Unleashed, but he's still quite a fair distance off of Martin, and then Limitless now coming towards the line. What can he do? He goes P2 as well. So ahead of Brochek, but again, another one, 4/10 off Tyrrell Martin. I think we have... Oh, but Limitless is actually happy with that, by the looks of it. He retires from the race, so Limitless then will not be getting pole in this session. He has retired with a 32.4. 4/10 of a second off Martin, so yeah, that's quite interesting. Maybe he just feels that Martin's time is so good that he's not going to beat it anyway. So let's see. I'm not sure this is an in-lap or an out-lap for Brochek, to be honest. Obviously, usually on this game, if I remember correctly, you tend to do one lap per kind of run in qualifying. The tyre wear and stuff being pretty bad. Oh, Liebot's gone in, and he's currently sitting P5 with 32.8. I think there's a 4/10 gap from first up to second, and second, third, and fourth are very close, and there's another 4/10 gap down to fifth. Jason going hard at that inside curb. Guess we could follow him around for a lap as well. He's currently sitting P6, only 1/10 behind Liebot. So if he just improves by a tenth, he could potentially move up at least one position. Yeah, just quickly scoring up my chat to see if anyone saying anything important. Someone wants me to watch a full lap. And I guess I can then just stick with Jason at least for the, until the end of this lap. 3.5 minutes to go. And you can see there's a few cars in the pit lane, so presumably just getting themselves ready and pumped up for the final go in this session to try and improve on their position. Ah, that's unfortunate. That's an in-lap for Jason. Was hoping to see an improvement there, but yeah, he didn't really look like he was pushing, did it? So, with Pride as well, just at an outlap at the moment. Hunter Stale, oh yeah, he's another debutant, actually, yeah, because Tyrrell Rosberg, I'm not sure why, but he decided to not drive in this season after all, after signing up. Tyrrell Rosberg has pulled out, and TSR Hunter Stale has come in to replace him, and I must say, I am not very familiar with him. He has not raced in any AOR leagues before, as far as I'm aware, but I know he has experience from other leagues, such as TRL and TSR, obviously. It remains to be seen, and it'll be interesting to see how he can get on against these drivers. there anyone on the proper lap at the moment? Les just coming out of the pit lane for the final time. Chris starts as well, looking to start a lap. Sure, there must be someone on a flying lap. Brojek as well on an out lap. And there we go then, Unleashed again. Let's see if he will complete a lap on this occasion. He's of course in P4 at the moment, but very close behind on his current time. Behind Brojek and Limitless. And Limitless of course will not be improving his time, so if Unleashed just improve by a 10th, he will be demoting Limitless a position. Looking nice and tidy into the penultimate corner there. Using the rest of his curse and opening the DRS. Or nearly the rest of his curse. It's saving just a tiny bit for the final straight. For the final run to the line. Nice wide entry. Hitting the apex. Early as possible on the throttle. Straight on the DRS. And it is not an improvement. It's still a 0.4. And it's still P4 for TSR Unleashed. We're slowing down and he's now finished with this session. Let's see, I'm going to try and fight Brojek actually. That's the man we want to be looking at the moment. Bully Brojek. I'm going to follow Orbit Pride there for the last corner as well. He's currently sitting in P7. Oh, but no, he decides to stay P7. And where are you, Brojek? Where on earth are you? Is he even on the track? There we go, there we go. Right, Brojek. A third of the way through his lap. Let's see how he gets on. Oh god, that's too wide. That is too wide, mate. Remains to be seen, of course, if he is able to take advantage of that one. Pretty good there, but again, a little bit wide on the exit. I think a little tiny bit too late on the throttle, maybe. And again, very much on the curve there. Not as much off the track this time as he was last on the other corner previously. Nice entry. It looked like it was a little bit of understay going on there. And Brojek then has the chance to potentially demote Limitless from the front row. Both of the two drivers have a 32-4 as it stands. Limitless has retired from the session. It remains to be seen what Brojek can do. 30, 31, 32, and it is an improvement to 32-3, I think I saw before it disappeared there. So Brojek up to P2, unless I'm completely mistaken. We'll get to confirmation in a tiny bit. We're going to follow Jason now to end this session. There's only 2 cars left on the track at the moment. Jason, and I'm not completely sure who the other person is. I'm not going to check though, because we want to see what Jason comes up with here. Currently P6, and unless Leobot has improved on his attempt, Jason only again needs to improve by 1/10 to get up to P5. And yep, the ARS wing flap falling off again. Nice little bug there going on. And there is back for the corner. That's good to see, because if you go through the final corner without that flap, that probably slow you down quite a bit. Didn't utilize all of the exit space there, but did he improve? I think he did a 0.7 there actually. So Jason might have just gone up to P5, but couldn't see for sure because he just disappeared straight away. And Tyrrell Maguire, the final man on the circuit. That looked a bit clumsy through the final corner, I'm not gonna lie, but was that just the spectator system being bad? Oh, and it's not a bad lap actually for Maguire. P5. And oh my god, look at the gap between Leobot and Jason. 1,000 of a second separating those two for P6 and P7. But it is Tyrrell Martin then who takes pole position. Looking very strong on pace there after winning the first race. 0.3 of a second ahead of Brojek, who was a further 10th ahead of Limitless and Unleashed. And Orbit Pride, Hunter Stale, Rio Haryanto, Chris Stars and Les F1 rounding up the grid for this race. And then we have, of course, the Joker then. I guess we can kind of call Yi a Joker in this race now, starting from the back. If he's paced anywhere like he was in the first race, he has the chance to certainly work his way through the field. But there is Tyrrell Martin with his golden helmet for this occasion. Maybe he was expecting pole beforehand and just put the golden helmet on to celebrate. Quick drink of water for me as we get ready for the race. Well, Noble in the chat, feeling that the JD dive bomb on Broshek is inbound. That would be interesting if that happened. Tyrannosaurus wanting Yi to do well, by the looks of it. From the back would be fun to see him work his way through the field. Even Limitless in the chat. He's getting ready for the race, but he also is ready to do a dive bomb. And why no rain? Yeah, there's been discussions this week between the drivers, from what I've seen, about whether to turn off on the dynamic weather, but no conclusion has been reached as of yet. So it is still unclear weather, as it was for the first race, but yeah, remains to be seen what the drivers decide for the rest of the season after this. Here we go then, the default strategy from the game. Option stint for 8 laps, then 2 10-lap stints on the primes. But we did see, of course, in the first race at Australia that most of the drivers, if I remember correctly, diverted from the default 2-stopper and went on to a 3-stop strategy instead. And obviously it's been a while since I raced this game on this track, but I do seem to remember that 3-stopper was also quite usual back in the day. It could be an interesting mix between the strategies. And of course, the guys at the back, Yi, Lest and Prix Stars, the ones starting outside the top 10, have the option of starting on the primes if they want to and do something a little bit different with their strategy. Prix Stars, the only man who did that in the first race. And yeah, just waiting for the drivers to ready up, really, or for the coordinator Limitless to ready up. Bedhead Ned, oh my god. I don't want to see a Bedhead Ned into the first corner here, lads. If yeah, for those of you who know what Bedhead Ned refers to, well done to you. Season 7? Was it Season 7? Or was it? I think it was Season 7 Bahrain Grand Prix. And that stuff happened. We're still not starting. I'm not completely sure why. Don't know what more I can fill this pause with, to be honest, in terms of me talking, but oh, Limitless capture card is not working. That's probably why we're waiting, actually. Was it Season 6? Oh, wow, okay. My bad! Don't hate Jesus, everyone and going in the chat Season 6. Well, fair play at least, for you guys to knowing that, when I can't even remember it. That would have been F1 2012 then, actually. X-Medici's Toro Rosso got launched, indeed. No. Then he had to commentate on it afterwards, and that was funny.
We'll be going to track shortly.
Alright then, we're going to track shortly. Oh god, 4 seconds. This is the nervy bit for me. This is like the only part of the race where I really need to be on it in terms of my finger work. So I need to quickly jump up and retire from the race and see what happens in turn 1. Should be an interesting turn 1. Some very fast drivers. I'm from Tyrrell, Martin and Poe, and there's me not getting ready for the race, and unfortunately with me being here in the lobby means that G starts even further back than he normally would have. But don't think that will make too much of a difference. Maybe make it even better for him to have a bit of a gap to the potential shenanigans going on at turn 1. And here come the lights then for this round 2 Malaysian Grand Prix. And the drivers are underway as we retire from the session. Spectate. Look back. Oh, where's the backwards? There we go. Martin heading into turn 1. Bit of scrambling going on in the midfield, but Martin retaining the lead. Ahead of Brochek, Limitless looking on Brochek's inside, and they're going to be side by side through turn 2. Brochek hanging on well though, and it looks like Brochek. Oh, a little bit of a squeeze there as well on Brochek. On Limitless, oh, and that has actually slowed Brochek down more than it did Limitless. Limitless up to P2 here into turn, I believe, 4. And Unleashed seemingly holding on as well, and Limitless now under pressure. I'm just going to try and jump back to Limitless, who's getting very closely pushed by Brochek as well. And there's some kind of cool stuff going on behind there. Very close battling in the midfield. Liebot defending hard. Tyrrell Maguire, the debutant. God, these cameras. Where's the proper one I want? There we go. And it looks like if you look on... Oh, he's disconnected again. That is a big shame for him. So, yeah, surely he must have just had connection problems in qualifying. And now again in the race. So Yi, who finished 5th last season after taking... last race. After taking pole, unfortunately will not have a chance to score any points in this race. And as we end the first lap, there is Tyrrell Martin out in front, and he seems to be building a little bit of a gap to Limitless. And there's Brochek in 3rd. And the field has settled down a little bit by the looks of it. Liebot 5th. TSR Unleashed running nicely in 4th where he started. The only change of position at the front has been Limitless passing Brochek. I guess he did say he was going to dive bomb into turn 1, wasn't he? Didn't he? And, well, it wasn't really a dive bomb. It's not really a corner where you can dive bomb, to be honest, the turn 1 here. But he certainly managed to make a move and get up to 2nd. Yeah, I think I would say there's about a second maybe from Martin down to Limitless. So Martin just having absolutely dominant pace in this early stage, stages, just like he had in qualifying as well. Martin just looking very, very good. I'm just gonna jump backwards and see if anything fancy is going on here while the front of the field has settled down a little bit. No DRS, of course, yet on lap 2. That comes next lap. With Pride running P8. Ria Haryanto dropping off the pack a little bit in P9. Chris X starts as well, seemingly struggling, but he has started the race on the prams. Oh, and he's been overtaken by the Caterham. God help my memory. Who is that in the Caterham? That's less F1, of course. They're going to be potentially heading side by side down into turn 1, but Chris X starts does not have the speed on the straight there to get close enough to challenge him back. As we just go back through the field again. God, this takes ages. And luckily we have not missed any changes for position here. There's still the same status quo, as I guess what you say, but Limitless just dropping a little bit further back from Martin. Oh, and he's gone very wide there as Limitless out of the sweeping turn 6. And that will have... It didn't really slow him down that much, but certainly would have helped. And I think Limitless is out of DRS range on Tyrrell Martin here. And that could be crucial. Martin just looking so good, as nothing Limitless can respond with as he stands, and Limitless just taking off the bollard there, and I think that might have slowed him down a little bit. Brochek maybe getting confused behind, trying to follow him, and also went over the corner with an optimal line. And Brochek will be very close with the DRS here, of course. And if Brochek and Limitless start battling here, that'll just give Martin even a bigger smile on his face, because that's will just increase the gap if these guys start holding each other up. As Limitless definitely does not have DRS on Martin. And Leach as well, not getting close enough to challenge Brochek. So this is a battle for 2nd place. Brochek up the inside, will he go for it? Oh, Limitless closes the door. Brochek was not sufficiently alongside there. to claim the corner, so he had to back out of it. Getting very close on the exit of turn 2. Can he have another go in the slipstream up towards turn 4 here? He's closing, but not fast enough. And Limitless having to defend from Brojek here, and that is not really what he wanted, because what he needs to do is just focus on the track to get the lap times into potentially, if he can, close that gap to Martin now, but it just doesn't seem to be any way for him to do it. Martin too strong at this stage of the race, and the gap, let me see, 1, 2, 3, possibly as much as 3 seconds between Martin and Limitless at the moment. What can you say about that? Martin just putting everyone to bed after just 4 laps so far. You never know, of course, what will happen. Any of these drivers could easily make a mistake and or mess up something in the pit stops or whatever. But you would think that Martin, especially with how good his pace is, that he's done a good amount of practice, and you wouldn't bet on him making any major mistakes. But at least the midfield looking much closer. Bit of a Limitless train going on, and we already have Peters going in after lap 4. Jason going in, as well as, is that Maguire, of course, the debutant as well. Is there anyone else behind? I can't change the camera while in the pit. Yeah, we're gonna... No, I want to go back to the cars on track. There we go. Hopefully no one has passed each other while I've been these guys going to the pits. And Brojek there, you can see, still all over Limitless, but not close enough to pass. A little bit shaky on the exit there. This is obviously the part of the first stint where these guys will have their tires starting to fall off. Oh, and Limitless again! Very wide there. I swear he's done that like 3 times now. Limitless just not getting its lines right through turn 6. But not as wide to get slowed down by the gravel, I think. Because he's still able to hold on for Brojek. It is very close, and this looks to be a battle for second in this race more than a battle for a first. And man, Brojek dropped away quite a bit through that section. Limitless just nailing it, while Brojek potentially had a bit of oversteer. Struggling a little bit with the 1 tires maybe. Let's see whether Martin will go into the pits here after lap 5. And he does indeed. Will Limitless follow him? He does. I see, it looked like he went a bit on the grass there, and Limitless, that is not the optimal racing line into the pit lane. Taking a lot of grass. Oh, and Brojek getting very close as a brake. Auto brake, I should say, for the pit lane. Who else is in then? Unleashed as well. So basically, the rest of the field I didn't pit on lap 4 have gone into the pits there. And I think I said that Chris X Stars was on the primes earlier, but that was my bad. I just forgot that the white medium tire is not the prime for this race, because I've now gone onto the hard orange stripe tire, which is obviously the most durable tire on the game, but also the least least fast, one with least grip. Oh, and there is Maguire. Is that Limitless? Ahead. I'm gonna check. Ooh, wow! Maguire almost jumping Limitless in the stop. I swear Maguire was like 7th before they went into the pits. And he's now up to 3rd. Just by pitting 1 lap earlier. That is incredible. Incredible undercut. The pace on the fresh tires just a lot better by the looks of it. And Maguire now, instead of Brojek being the Mercedes to challenge Limitless. Where is Brojek? Oh god. Dearie me. That's gone horribly wrong for Brojek. He must have been held up in the pits there. I can see no other explanation for him having dropped this far back than getting just mugged off in the pit stops by other people coming past and holding him in his box. Because he's now behind. Is that Jason, I believe, just ahead? But Brojek then looking to make up some position again. Passing Jason on the penultimate straight. But there is a gap ahead of him now. This is definitely not gone to plan for Brojek. Ooh, and I'm gonna see some side-by-side duo for 3rd place as well. Maguire being passed by TSR Unleashed. Both of them having DRS, but Unleashed must have just gone a better exit on the final corner, taking advantage. And Maguire, after challenging for 2nd half a lap ago, has now dropped to P4. But he can't be too displeased with being there, because he was 7th, I believe, before they all went into the pits. Or he was somewhere around 7th, it could have been 6th, I'm not completely sure. Either way, Limitless at least back up to 2nd place. But the gap to Martin remains huge. Just like it was before. Lee must bot in P5 now. Oh, and it's still side by side between Jason and Brošek. Brošek just can't shake Jason after passing him into the final corner. I can only imagine that Jason possibly passed him back into turn 1 with the DRS, and then they've probably been side by side from there. So apologies for missing part of that, but obviously we did see an overtake further up ahead as well. Brošek now though seems to have gotten a move down, and what he wants right now, Brošek, is to make sure he's within a second of Leobot ahead to get the DRS, not only to potentially attack Leobot, but also to defend from Jason and not be at a disadvantage compared to him. So Jason definitely has the DRS, but Brošek does not, and that's an interesting line, going down the straight there, completely as far to the right as he could possibly go. But he did not have DRS. Will he have it here though? He will. So even though he didn't have DRS down and straight, he has closed the gap to Leobot. Oh, and I think there's still some challenging going on for 3rd. Oh, and here we go, side by side between Unleashed and Maguire. Maguire on the outside, and that is not the best line through that corner. So Unleashed hangs on, and this battling is good news for Limitless up ahead, as he's now starting to build a little bit of a gap. So Unleashed out of the DRS range as well. So maybe now Limitless can focus on just putting, just getting his hand down basically, and putting in the lap times to potentially catch Martin if he has the pace to do it. The early stage of the race will suggest that he maybe does not, and that's a poor line for Maguire. Oh, Jesus! We talk about track extending all the time, but you know, that's the track extend that definitely did not gain him any time. He has dropped off the back of Unleashed with that, potentially as far back as being outside of the DRS range now, and Leobot within DRS range possibly of Maguire because of that. And Brošek as well, so maybe we could see the Maguire train forming in a bit from 4th place downwards. Let's have a quick look. Behind Orbit Pride in that train as well. And Last F1 as well, not too far behind. And then we have Chris X Stars. No, Hunter Stale on his debut. Also not too far behind. So yeah, Martin and Limitless have broken away and Unleashed to an extent. But behind them there is battling going on. And Leobot challenging Maguire for P4 up the inside. Ooh, and just steering just a tiny bit too late on the brakes. Couldn't get it slowed down, but he gets the move done after just a little wheel bang. With Maguire, no major harm done though. They're both going fine, but Maguire has dropped another position after jumping so many drivers through the pit stops. Now he's back down to P5. So sadly in the mix, and he's looking impressive on his debut so far, Maguire, I have to say. Obviously, Tyrrell Rosberg's brother, unless I'm completely mistaken, I believe he's his brother. So Rosberg might have pulled out of the league, but his brother races on. And there's a gap now forming. Jason not seemingly having the pace of those 3 drivers battling ahead of him at the moment. Jason, of course, I believe pitted 1 lap earlier, and both Leobot and Brošek, just like Maguire did. I believe those two pitted on lap 4, while Brošek and Leobot pitted on lap 5, and Brošek taking that bollard and getting half spun as a result of it. Still has DRS, but would have lost any chance of potentially challenging Maguire and Leobot ahead. But Maguire, though, getting very close to Leobot as we come to the end of lap 9 now. And surely this should be an easy DRS pass here. It's a classic modern F1 pass with DRS down the straight. Leobot can't do anything about it. considering how close Maguire got on the exit of the final corner. Maguire just taking a nice kind of defensive line into turn 2 just to make sure. But Liebert getting the better exit. No DRS on this straight though, so it's not going to be as easy for him, but he goes for it. Oh, Maguire doesn't want to leave him mushroom, but he pulls back over to the left. And Liebert takes the inside line nicely without cutting any corners. A little bit of lag going on possibly. On my screen anyway. And Liebert has a very good move to recover up to P4. And Maguire, ooh, taking a lot of the grass there. Not gaining anything from it though. And is Brochek right on this, I wonder? He is indeed. So there's a 3-way scrap. P4. You can see on the minimap that Martin still has a big gap to Limitless. I'm not sure it's been gotten any bigger since after the pit stops, but it's certainly very big. I would estimate around 5 seconds maybe between P1 and P2, or maybe 4. Let's see then if Maguire can challenge Liebert back. It's a 3-way group going on from P4 down, and then it's a 3-way group again. Is that Orbit Pride then? Who's gone up to P7? Ahead of Jason actually. Orbit Pride has passed Jason. I'm going to jump back to Brochek to see if Maguire is challenging Liebert again. He thought about it for a split second there, and instead he went for the outside, and that has opened the door for Brochek actually. The two teammates in the Mercedes going side by side now. Will there be another Rosberg Hamilton moment? There will! Oh, that is contact! That is not good for Brochek, who's just slightly touched the rear tyre of Maguire, lost the back end as a result of it, and dropped off the back of them. So a little bit of controversy there between the Mercedes drivers. Whenever you see two Mercedes cars side by side these days, you just feel that something will happen. At least if you consider the real life 2014 season. That would not have helped Brochek. Jason now, oh, he's gone past Orbit Pride. So I did see at the end of the previous lap, Orbit Pride was ahead of Jason, but Jason has gotten that position back now. Certainly Orbit Pride looking pretty good in his second race in AOR. The Frenchman, debuting last week. Yeah, first finish was in the towards the lower end of the top 10, if I remember correctly. And Liebert looking pretty strong in pace. He will not be challenged by Maguire on this occasion. And will Maguire even have DRS? I believe he will not actually. Maguire has been dropped out of DRS range from Liebert. Ooh, and we got a car of the pits back there as well. But here is there going to be more stuff, more banter between the Mercedes. Brochek certainly going for it. Why have I just skipped in the middle there? Right, Maguire tries to hang on the inside of turn 2, but Brochek, his experience shined through there, and he just lined himself up for a much better exit out of turn 2. Make that move stick. Maguire really seems to be struggling right now. He did a pit on lap 4, of course. This is his 8th lap on these tyres. And he seems to be struggling just a little bit more than Brochek and Liebert ahead, who pitted a lap later. But let's see. Behind. Who went into the pit lane, I wonder? Jason P8. Lest F1 P9 also in the mix still. Chris Stars though, dropping off a little bit. Ooh. Not the best line there either. I wonder if was it him that pitted. I believe these two might have pitted. No, surely not. I believe not actually. They're not that far behind the rest of the pack. So I believe these two guys have just dropped off on pace probably. At least they have some company with each other. Via Arianto and Chris Stars. Gonna jump to the front because I believe we will be seeing. That was Hunter Stale actually, who will have been the one who went into the pit lane. Martin staying out. Way in the lead. Limitless as well, kind of by himself. A couple of seconds worth of a gap to Unleashed in third. So the top 3 kind of spread out as it stands. Liebert also staying out, but a few cars going in the pits. And unsurprisingly, one of them is Tyrrell Maguire. as he's no longer P6. He will have pitted. I can only imagine Jason will have as well. Here we go. Jason on the way into his box. Let's see if anything gets messed up by his pit crew. Seems completely fine to me. He's behind Maguire still. Who is that coming down? Pit lane. Less of one, not far behind. And Hunter Stale. Not too far behind either, but will be on slightly more worn tyres than those cars ahead now. And Quizak still staying ahead of Rio Haryanto. But here's the man in the moment, Tyrrell Martin. Haven't seen much of him in the race, but I guess that's only because he's been out in front by himself, just completely dominant. That's the reason why we quite often don't see Lewis Hamilton in the real life races when he's just running by himself out in front. And Tyrrell Martin doing his best Lewis Hamilton impression in this race so far. Into the pits he goes. Limitless and Unleashed both follow him in. I can see it on the minimap there. Oh, still, just can't change the camera. So since I entered the pits in this camera, I'm just gonna have to stick with it. Nice clean tires for Martin. Oh, did he get held up a bit there? I can't imagine he did. It just kind of felt like he did, but there was no one to hold him up there. Oh, actually, no. Oh, yeah, was that Limitless actually going past? I think it might have been, because my camera was on the wrong side of his car to see it. Limitless might have helped himself a little bit there by just holding up Martin a tiny little bit. But you can see the gap is still pretty massive. I can see that there's very many cars closed through turns 1 and 2. Wow, the Mercedes drivers have come out next to each other again, and Maguire has jumped ahead of Brosic again through the pit stops. Again, taking advantage of the undercut, but again as well will be on the worst tyres in this battle. Brosic taking a lot of the inside there, trying to follow him. So I guess this is where we'll be seeing most of the action for the rest of the race, unless Limitless can catch up to Martin. Very close battles in the midfield. Oh god, that's okay. Please don't go for the pass, because I will not approve. Thank you. Maguire with some interesting lines there. Oh god! What is going on there? Jason getting very close to Maguire. Was that Maguire? Yeah, he has had a big problem. Big problem for Maguire. Didn't completely see what happened there, but it definitely had a moment. And that has dropped him down to P7. He's lost 2 positions in this lap alone. A little bit of debut nerves going on possibly for him. At least now he has DRS, and so will Jason, who will be attacking Brosic. Brosic, who qualified P3. The race just hasn't worked out for him the way he would have wanted. Now defending for his life to retain P5. With Leo the man ahead, and Jason, oh, getting very close. Tiny contact there maybe, but nothing to really speak about. They both keep their car angled in the correct direction. And Jason is not able to keep the... or to get in the position. Brosic defending well. We are pretty much halfway through this race now, on lap 15 out of 28. S10 dropping it off the pack, but still running in the points. There's Stale as well, looking on course for some points on his debut as he stands. Ooh, and I can see my long distance sight so that Maguire... Ooh, no, he wasn't attempting a move. He got passed by Ovi Pride. Maguire just dropping positions left, right and centre. I guess we should kind of be focusing on him, but now there's a gap behind him finally. So he won't be dropping any further positions in the immediate future unless he spins or something. But yeah, Maguire, he was up to 3rd just after the first round of pit stops, but he's gone backwards from him for him from there. And Brosic now looking to create a gap to Jason. While Maguire trying to get the position back for Orbit Pride. Two new guys in the league this season, battling side by side into turn 1 for P7. Orbit Pride on the inside, Maguire turning in a lot, Orbit Pride just about getting it slowed down luckily. Giving him room on turn 2 there as well. Maguire just taking quite a bit of the curb. Wouldn't have helped his traction, but it did help his line. But Orbit Pride just hanging on. He's there alive on the inside. To turn 4. Maguire again just looking to get a better exit with a wider entry. But Orbit Pride defending well here. And that has put Maguire off there in the dirty air possibly. Just understeering a bit more than he wanted through turn 6. And Orbit Pride has been given some breathing space finally. And that has allowed F1 as well to close the gap to Maguire. So he's back in the mix for a position higher than P9. And I'm looking, don't worry guys, I'm still keeping an eye on the minimap. I can see the gap between Martin and Limitless. About the same, I would say. 4, yeah, I would estimate 4 to 5 seconds between Martin and Limitless still. Martin just blinking at all in this race by the looks of it, just holding on to the lead, showing incredible pace. But Maguire and Orbit Pride still go at it, but once again Maguire just not getting the best line, and Orbit Pride able to get a lot earlier on the throttle. And also we also got the DRS actually, that's interesting. Orbit Pride must have been behind for a brief moment to get the DRS from Maguire. And F1 looking to capitalize in any shenanigans that those two might get up to. Oh god, side by side action for P11. Might as well just look at this for a bit as well. Tiny bit of wheel banging, but as Chris Starson in the Ferrari leaves a good amount of room until he looked like to be sideswiping him a little bit into turn 5. Possibly some lag on, and I'm not completely sure on that one, but that looked a tiny bit naughty from Chris. Oh, and then Haryanto just misses his braking point. Gave him a tap, but no change of position. Chris didn't really get slowed down from him by that, to be honest. If anything, Haryanto just gave him a little push. Yeah, here is the battle. It's the closest at the moment. A train from P6 down, but Maguire having dropped some ground on Orbit Pride, and Orbit Pride as well having dropped some ground on Jason. But I really don't want this this scrap to spread out. So I want to see battling. Oh, I think there's closeness going on. Still, Maguire under pressure again. He's gonna have to go defensive from F1. Both of them having the DRS, but Les just breaks a lot later. Can he hang it around the outside? No, he can't. It goes too deep. Unfortunately for him. Fair play for the attempt, I will say, but needs better execution for the next time he tries. Maguire, result of all this defending. I think he might have dropped out of DRS range of Orbit Pride ahead. Maguire now having to focus more on defending P8 than attacking P7. A bit further to the front again, see what the gaps are like. Brochek, I think, is closing the gap to Leobot. So of course in qualifying, Brochek with a better lap time than Leobot, so you would think that he has the pace to close the gap, and he can't be far off getting the DRS. Not quite yet though. That could be an interesting battle shaping up if Brochek can catch Leobot. Both those guys obviously experienced drivers from AOR F1 in the past. And Jason under pressure now from Orbit Pride. In only his second race, whereas Jason has been around AOR for quite a while. Finished P3 in Season 9 on F1 2014 in the season. But now being passed by one of the new boys in this season. Orbit Pride up the inside. Nice and easy. Slows it down for the apex. No problems whatsoever. And I think Orbit Pilot is on 1 lap fresher tires than Jason. And I could play it a little bit of the part of why he got a better exit out of the final corner. So I'm gonna quickly just look at the scoreboard here. Just compare some fastest lap time. Oh god, look at the comparison there. Tyrrell Martin's best lap at 34.4, which is pretty much the same time that Limitless did in qualifying. And Limitless' best time is a 35.2, 8/10 of a second off. Yeah, Martin just absolutely dominant in this race so far. And he's showing no signs of that changing anytime soon. You can see him here, just completely on it. With about a third of the race to go. Martin on course for his 2nd win in a row after only having won 1 race in the top AOR F1 league before this season. That was in Hungary season 9 on F1 2014. Here is Limitless, so that was the gap. Martin exiting turn 2 as Limitless is approaching turn 1. And you have to say that unless Martin has some kind of huge issue or makes a mistake, then it will be very, very hard for Limitless to catch up to him. Same situation goes for Unleashed compared to Limitless, but Unleashed, very solid race for him. Running P3 at the moment. I believe he finished something like P6 or 7 in the first race. But now, of course, for his first ever AOR F1 podium. Unleashed, having a good day. Breaking away from this pack in the early stage of the race. And Brocek still just hassling this track to try and close that gap to Leobot. Hashtag Hungary Season 9 according to CRU in the chat, yes. Was an interesting race. 2 out of 10 race. Wouldn't quite go that far. There's been quite a bit of battling in the midfield, but yeah, certainly the battle line in front has not been anything to really speak about. You can see on the minimap Martin has now got into the pit. Limitless stayed out by the looks of it. While Unleashed does go into the pit, will Leobot respond? No, Leobot and Brojik both staying out. But Leobot might be under pressure from Brojik here with the DRS. Brojik getting a good exit as well. Leobot, will he go defensive? No, he's not really closing the inside line, but Brojik decides to go for the outside anyway. That gives Leobot the chance to hang on the inside and get very close, but no contact. Oh, getting very close, sliding a little bit there, Brojik. But Leobot, oh, what a defensive move, getting a little bit of side pod bang in there. But aggressive but fair, I guess we could say on that one. Leobot with a beautiful defensive line through both of the first 2 corners to stay ahead of Brojik there. Not sure why Brojik didn't go for the inside line into turn 1. But as a result, he's stayed behind for now. Martin come out of the pit in P4, but see, that is the net lead. Unleashed in P5 though? Has he pitted? Yeah, of course, yeah, he pitted. Yeah, of course, Limitless is the man leading at the moment because he did not pit. So Limitless decided to go for a different strategy compared to Martin, but he will be losing time on this in-lap while Martin is on fresh tires anyway, so I'm not sure that's going to be working out for him. I do seem to remember from previous seasons that Limitless tend to kind of want to stay out a little bit longer at times and have better tires at the end. Alright. Let's try and refine that battle between Brojik and Leobot. I assume they will have pitted by now, and they do indeed go into the pit lane. In the same order they were while the last time we looked at them. And yeah, question from Noble. Can Unleashed get near JD after the stops? That is a good question, actually. So obviously with Unleashed pitting a lap earlier than Limitless, he will have gotten the undercut. Will have had a better lap now. And there was not Limitless. So what's the forward button again? We will see then. That's the gap. He's definitely closed it, but not really enough. Not enough to get the RS anyway. And Limitless now on one lap fresher tires. He will expect him to not let that gap close any further to Unleashed. You never know. Unleashed might be getting a bit of extra motivation now that he can see Limitless closer than before. Extra motivation to push hard. Oh god, and Brošek is ahead of Leobot, so he must have held him up in the pit. They did of course come in the pits very close together. And Brošek with the Mercedes pit stopping earlier in the pit lane. Yeah, that is might just have been what screwed Leobot over there. I assume that the Brošek coming down the pit lane will have just held Leobot up. And that is not really a way he would have wanted to be passed by Brošek after putting up such a great defensive fight earlier on. A bit of a shame to see, really. Hopefully Leobot can still have a good pace compared to Brošek, so maybe we can see the battle continue on. This is of course how the rest of the field looking after the pit stops have been shaken out. Maguire and Lest close together, and Hunter Stale. There's a battle for P8 then. So let's stay close with these guys on these two straights to see if anyone can make a move. Also keeping an eye on the minimap between Brošek and Leobot. Leobot is close to Brošek, but doesn't look like he will be close enough to have a move into turn 1. Unless when they enter turn 1 they look to be very close, so I'm just gonna move back towards them actually now. Because nothing happened in this battle. Please don't have... Please. Yes, they haven't changed position. I'm glad. Only because then I didn't miss an overtake. Yeah, someone asking, Noble, why can't we see you on the screen? That's a shame. Noble, we need you here, man. You need to show these guys how it's done. Obviously, Noble having been the 5-time AOR F1 champion. Seasons 3 to 8, he won all of them. And has raced against quite a few of these guys. Limitless, Martin. Yeah, Brošek, Leobot and Jason as well. But there's also quite a few new guys here who we will not have raced against. I was going to say, it is the veterans that is dominating this race, but you have to also remember Unleashed in 3rd place. Oh, he's having his first season in the AOR F1 League. Looking very strong. Leobot again getting close to Brošek with DRS here in the battle for P4, which is kind of the main battle on the track as it stands, with only 5 laps to go. On lap 24 out of 28. And Leobot will want to get this position from Brošek. Brošek will finish P2 in the first race. It will be quite a bit of, ahead of Leobot in the standings after the first race. Leobot was around 7th, unless I'm completely mistaken. So, even though this might not be necessarily a championship position battle in the grand scheme of things, you know, these guys are competitive. They want to get every position that they can. Leobot will be pushing hard to of course, yeah, get a position from the season 9 champion, Brošek. Gap looked to be increasing a little bit on that lap, so we'll go back to the battle for P8, who looks to be a little bit closer maybe. Lest F1 still hanging on. P8 just ahead of Maguire though. However, Hunter Stale has had a bad lap and has dropped back from the pair of them. So as we come towards the later stages of the race, the gaps between people have just kind of spread. Apart from these two-man battles that we got going on for P4 and P8, Maguire going for the outside line on Lest F1, but he makes a bit of contact and gets put in the grass. I don't think that was really Lest F1's fault. He did just take a normal racing line, and Maguire just got too close to his rear tyre there. and lost the rear end. That has now put him really on the back foot in this battle. If he hadn't touched Leicester F1 there, then I think he would have had him easily with DRS on the main straight, but you can forget about that now. So let's see what the status is between Liebert and Brochek. Still the same. Liebert just trying to get close enough to challenge. Oh god. Did you hear that rear end go there? Just try a different camera for once. Liebert is chasing down the gap. He will still be within DRS range. Brochek looked to be just drifting a tiny bit into that corner there, but he also got a very good line on the exit. And the question is, can Liebert get close enough this time with DRS? 2 consecutive DRS straights. He's getting close in the braking for the final corner, but he really needs a good exit there if he wants to challenge. And he seems to be having a chance at least, but Brochek has good straight line speed. Defending hard on the inside, going as inside as you possibly can. He's more on the inside than Barrichello was when he got squeezed by Schumacher in Hungary, but Liebert manages to brake much later around the outside, but now Brochek going for the cutback at turn 2. This is great battling actually, and Brochek defending the position, even though he looked like he got absolutely mugged on the outside of turn 1. He just snatches it back out of turn 2. Great defensive drive, and Liebert has to find another way. Amazing battle between the pair of them here. Two guys who knows what it's like. They do have good racecraft, they do have experience from this league. That was a nice clean little scrap. Wouldn't mind seeing that for the last 3 laps of the race as well. For the last 2 laps after this. Only 2.5 laps left to go. Even though it hasn't been the most exciting race in terms of battles out in front, you can see on the minimap the gap between Martin and Olympus has just increased even more as a result of Martin getting the undercut on the final stop as well. Martin just has this race absolutely planted in the bag at the moment. Limitless also looking comfortable to hold on from Unleashed. But this battle is all from settled as we enter the penultimate lap of the race here for round 2 at Malaysia. Liebert will have another go. Brochek again defending hard on the inside line. Will Liebert brake a lot later this time? Again he will, and again he just gets his slowdown perfectly, leaving just about a car's width of room on the inside. But again Brochek has done the same cutback move, but not as good as last time. Liebert this time getting a better exit out of turn 2, staying ahead of Brochek, and he's gotten that move done. So a battle that looked very similar to the start of the last lap, but the deciding factor being Liebert just tiny bit better out of turn 2, hanging on. And now it will be up to Brochek to be the attacker rather than the defender on the final lap. Oh, is he going to attack here, is he? That's not really the corner where you want to kind of dive up the inside. He did get very close to Liebert there, but obviously no way through. Liebert closed the door. Yeah, I'm going to focus on this battle now until the end of the race, until something incredible happens out in front. See, Martin is going around the final corner now to start the final lap. Oh, and Liebert has gone very wide in the penultimate corner. Very, very bad line, potentially a lock-up from him. It's obviously a very hard corner. So many lines you can take through that penultimate corner, and so hard to brake for it as well. Obviously no ABS for these guys, and you're braking while turning kind of into that corner. And Liebert did not do it right in this occasion, and he is not really close enough this time to do another almighty out-braking maneuver around the outside here. Oh, he's getting close though, a little hit. Brochek's car does not care about it at all. Keeps pointing straight. Liebert just desperately trying to get on the power there, but he's wheel spinning a bit too much, I feel. And he's not going to be close enough here to get Brochek up the hill. As Martin, I believe, has half a lap to go. in this race to win round 2. It's going to be back-to-back wins for Tyrrell Martin. I'm just gonna... Actually, I know. I'm in 2 minds of what I want to do here. Yeah, it didn't look like there was any move for P4 there at the moment, but Liebert just getting very close. We're going to join Martin though for the final corner of the race. Limitless in the penultimate corner, but Martin going into the final corner. Smooth as you like. And he is weaving onto the grass. You don't want to be spinning there, mate. Bit risky. But Martin wins the race. Just a beautiful drive from him. Ahead of Limitless by, we'll see the exact gap in a bit, but several seconds. And he's just left the session straight away to go celebrate. It's interesting. And Brocek, is he hanging on from Leobot? Oh, he couldn't even go backwards to Leobot there. Okay, but yeah, Brocek hangs on in 4th position. Orbit Pride will finish 7th on his second race. And what's going on behind? Oh no, that's not where I wanted to see. Chris X Stars unfortunately missing out on the points. And even though I've tried to skip forwards, I've skipped backwards to Ria Haryanto, so I'm not going to see the guys finishing in the bottom end of the top 10. We'll get confirmation in a second. Chris X Stars finishing 11th. And a lonely drive for him, I think, after... Actually, no, he did have a battle with Haryanto, didn't he? But here is the final results. Martin, a dominant win, 6.7 seconds from Limitless. And Limitless, you can see, increased the gap to Unleashed quite a bit on the final stint as well. About 5.3 seconds between those two. But Unleashed, his first ever podium in this league. Very solid effort. Brocek hanging on. But JLI from Leobot in the battle for 4th. Jason gets P6 in the end. His experience shines through in the battle versus Orbit Pride. We get 7th out of Lest F1. Tyrrell Maguire on his debut. Hunter Style as well, scoring points on his debut. Then Chris and Haryanto, unfortunately for them, missing out. And I believe that's the second time Haryanto has not scored a point. So yeah, guys, let me know in the stream chat who you think was the race. Not who you think was the race, who you think was the driver of the day. Obviously, this man has to be in the contention for that. Tyrrell Martin, incredible pace. I'm not sure how he's able to celebrate in here right now, considering he already left the lobby. But he is the winner. It's a 2-2 for Tyrrell Martin, and he is looking ominous for Limitless and the rest so far this season. I know Luke Julian says he was very close for fastest lap. Unfortunately, I forgot to kind of look at that. But I assume then that someone kind of got close to Martin's fastest lap in the end. What a drive from Fisi the lad. Yeah, thank you very much. I am the driver of the day indeed. Driver of the day, the line. Interesting. Some controversy there. Brocek, 100% for the driver of the day. According to Luke Julian. Leobot getting it from the Asters CT. Tyrrell Martin being awarded driver of the day from Miku Litsi. So yeah, some different different opinions on driver of the day, which is to be expected. Obviously, Brocek and Leobot had a fantastic battle to show us, and Martin as well just had fantastic pace to win the race. So yeah, that pretty much wraps this up. And yeah, obviously, remains to be seen whether dynamic weather will be a thing from next race onwards, and whether anything will happen with the assist situation with the racing line and stuff. There is definitely discussions going on between the drivers. Whether they can come to consensus, I'm not sure. We will have to wait and see on that. But yeah, another interesting race. So thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. Tyrrell Macy saying he was the driver of the day. Unfortunately, we never got to see what he had to give him in this race after getting disconnected. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching round 2 of this season. There's many races to go, and of course next week at the same time we will be back. Once again, I'm not sure whether it'll be Matty or me streaming the next one. This time again it was me, because Matty was out having some bands on the city. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you then, and hopefully you will be here to tune in anyway. So thanks very much for watching. We'll see you for round 3 in China, and goodbye.